So you've just seen the render, and in this video I'm gonna be talking about how I have created this character. So let me just talk about this. This is gonna be an workflow video, and I'm not gonna be talking about everything step by step, because if I were to do that, this video is gonna get a little longer, and we both would not have liked that. So you can see that we are basically just going to be starting with a basic sphere, and you can actually use a base mesh, but I would not recommend that with an stylized character because the proportions are way too different from a real human being, that a base mesh would actually just deform a bit too much, and it just would not be accurate to basically use in base mesh for a stylized character. You can use it for retopo, which is what I'm gonna be doing in this video. You're gonna see that in the future. So basically what I did, I basically just sculpted him, and then I've used the base mesh to do the retopo, so that I could basically just get all the skin details through a displacement map, and I am just gonna talk about all of that in the future and in this video, so you're gonna see that. So first thing first, the idea was pretty simple. I needed to design a character as well. I knew from the start that the character is going to be skinny, but I didn't really followed any reference while creating this base, and you've just seen me draw an arrow. Well, the reason for that is this video is actually a course, and I know. So if you wanna learn step by step creating this character, oh by the way, this character is also for animation. You can animate the character as well. I've created this animation ready. So if you wanna learn a character, stylized character like this, which is also animation ready, then you can buy the course as well. I'm gonna put the link in the description. So yeah, let's just get back to the video. So basically what I was saying was, I've totally forgot what I was saying, not gonna lie, but yeah, you basically just need to sculpt first. Oh yeah, I remember what I was saying. So at this point I'm not really following any reference. Now you might be thinking, why would I need reference to do the stylized character? Well, the references of an older person, basically to see exactly how I could create the nose and exaggerate all those stuff that I'm seeing in the reference. So the first idea was to basically create something, to have something to work with, and then I can just push and pull stuff, add and remove volume to basically design a character. That was the idea, and that's why you can see that I'm actually just creating a normal kind of looking character, and I am just adding all the stuff in it. For example, the eyeball, the nose, the mouth, everything, so that I can actually use all of these stuff to design character a little bit later. So you can clearly see that I am basically just adding everything right now, and I'm not really following the reference. I knew that I'm gonna be creating an older guy, so that was something that I was keeping in mind, but obviously it does not really look like an older guy, so I had to change a whole lot of stuff in terms of design. And by the way, because it's a stylized character, you need to do two things. So first you need to exaggerate stuff, like make the eyes bigger. Obviously everyone knows that. The second thing is make the forms simpler. So if you've seen any anime sculptures, you can see that how much simplify sculptors do the anime figurines. So if you are stylizing something, you also need to do that. Maybe not that much, but still, if you see any characters from Pixar or Disney, you're gonna see how simplified their forms are. So now that we've created the head, I've jumped to the body, and you can see that I've basically did the rib cage first, and using that rib cage I basically just drawn all the muscle. And again, it's not a step by step process, so I cannot really talk about the anatomy and everything. So now that we have the body, I knew that he is gonna be skinny, so I just kept that in mind, and I've started simplify everything. So you can see how I have simplified the upper eyelid. It had all the shapes, so I just removed that and simplify everything. That's basically what I did. And after that, you can see that I'm making the nose a little bit bigger. So there is one thing that I heard, that humans don't really stop growing the nose and the ears. So even if when you are older, because the ears and the nose does not really stop growing, it actually gets bigger. So I was just following the same thing, and I that's why I made the ears and nose a little bit bigger. So you can see in the reference I actually just made the lips a little bit thinner because that's what I saw in the reference. And again, because he was skinny, I thought making more bony landmark is actually gonna be better, because again, skinny, I just cannot really say that again and again. So you are also gonna see that I am not really gonna polish everything, like I'm not really gonna add all the skin details. That's because you can clearly see that I am gonna be using a base mesh to do the shrink wrap, so that I don't really have to do the manual retopo. And the benefit of doing the shrink wrap is I get to have all the details that this mesh came from, and this mesh is from 3D Scan Store, by the way. I'm gonna put the link in the description so that you can actually see which one it is. And the benefit, oh yeah, you can see that I have not also polished the face, because I am gonna be polishing the face and the body right now that I have a better topology. And also this is the final topology that I'm gonna be using for the animation. So that's why I didn't really added or any of the details actually in the sculpt itself, because I was actually waiting for this particular step. Now because it actually have oh yeah, you can clearly see that this is a course. So I was explaining the muscles that we need to add in order to make him look better. That's why I basically had all these linings. So yeah, if you want to buy the course, again I'm gonna say it, the link is in the description. You can actually just buy that. So the idea was to have a mesh like this, a clean topology, so that we can actually sculpt all the details. And after that I can actually just bake a displacement map, so that we can have all the details but on a lower res version, so that we can actually use him for animation as well. So that was basically the idea. And yeah, that's why I didn't really polish the sculpt before. You're gonna see the same thing with the clothes as well. Oh yeah, we still have not done the face. So now you can see that I did the face. So basically polishing everything, I've polished the body. Now it is time to do the same with the face. And you can see that I'm literally just looking at the reference while basically fixing everything. So the ears, the eyes, everything is gonna get fixed in this process, because the next process would be to add the skin. And after we'll add the skin, we can actually start doing the wrinkles, because wrinkles actually form in between the skin. So I don't know if you can actually get the idea, but the lines of the wrinkles that you have on the face, they cut the pores. So if we don't have the pores, it does not make sense to do the wrinkles. So we need to know where the pores are, so that we can actually just cut those. And you're gonna see that in the future, by the way, after I am finished with polishing of this character. So you can see that I literally haven't polished anything in the sculpt itself. Again, this was the workflow, and this is a workflow video as well. So I am just showing you all the workflow. And you can see that I've did the nasal labial fold afterward as well. So you can literally just design the character right now as well, but don't change it too much, otherwise the topology is gonna be weird. Okay, so now I am actually just bringing the displacement map that I've baked in the ZBrush. So yeah, I've baked in the ZBrush because 3D Scan Store does not provide you with a displacement map, which is so sad. I mean, why? It does provide you with a normal map, but it does not give you a displacement map, which is, again, I don't know, man. I don't even have the words for it. They should supply the displacement map, but I guess it's fine. So you can see that we've gotten so much details, but obviously these are not perfect and we need to fix a whole lot of stuff. So I'll start with the eyebrow hairs. You can see that we basically have the hairs, and they're also at the wrong area, so I had to remove those. I had to remove all these lines because I am going to be sculpting all these wrinkles. Now I haven't really removed all the wrinkles because some of the wrinkles actually were making sense, so I didn't really remove that. And yeah, now that we've removed some of the details, it was time to re-add those. I've just used jitter, and in the negative I've just started adding some of the pores kind of thing, and then I've just smooth out the fall off and start adding some of the bumps, and that was actually pretty much it. If we were to start adding lines in between those areas where I just added the jittery thing, it is just gonna start look natural. So basically now I have started adding all the wrinkles, all the lines, and yeah, you can see that I'm gonna try to make sure that it also cuts the pores. I mean, I'm not really doing that right now, but if you were to buy the course, you're gonna see that. Like literally, I'm not doing it right now because eye bag areas don't really have that big of pores. So yeah, okay. So you can see that we are done with the sculpt, and now I am setting up this shader, and the color that I'm using, it actually came from 3D scan store as well. So I am literally just using that color for my base, and I'm trying to set up a shader. The shader is not really that complicated. You can pause the video and basically take a screenshot. I've only used the principal BSTF and just removed some of the LEDs, and after baking this to and texture, I've just started adding some of the colors. So I wanted the ears and the nose to be a little bit reddish, so I'm just trying to give it a red kind of a color and just do a test render. So you can clearly see it is a bit too much red, so I've started removing some of the red and did another test render, and I think it is still a bit too much and a little bit darker. So I just repeated this process until I found the perfect red that is gonna work in the ear. And after that, I just did the nose the same way and started adding some of the details using the jitter in my brush. So after we are done with the base color, I've started painting the speck map, the roughness map, the subsurface scattering map, and there's one more map that I forgot. I think it was multi-weight micro displacement strength map. Yes. So these are some of the maps that I've baked, and this is basically the shader that you can see. And now I think it was time to do the eyeball. So eyeball, I've actually used the eyeball from again the same source, the 3D scan store. And the idea was to just do it quickly, and we also had the assets, so I thought why not just use that. But don't you worry, I am going to be doing a tutorial on the YouTube channel where I am going to be talking about how I would do the eye if I had to do it on my own, because I had a portrait that I've created before where I've created the eye on my own, and I think that also looks pretty nice. You can actually just check out my Insta or my ArtStation to see some of the portraits, and in those portraits all the eyes that you are gonna see, all of those eyes were done by me. So yeah, you can see that I did the eyes. I basically just created a shader, not really that complicated. You just have to give some spec, and after that we needed to do the eye tier. So eye tier is basically the thing on the edges of your eye which reflect which reflect the light, and it looks like that you basically have some water, which you actually have in the real life. That's why the corners are so reflective. So we needed to simulate that in the blender as well, and I just created this tier kind of a shape, so tier line kind of a shape. And after just creating a shader, a glass kind of a shader, basically you can see that we were able to create these tier lines. So that's pretty awesome as well. So yeah, at this point we are done with the body sculpting and body shading. So basically we have a naked character complete, right? But we don't want this to be naked, so I've just created a face set and extracted that, and basically started creating a base for the cloth. And I am just going to be doing the same thing for the pants. By the way, the first thing is going to be just block out the cloth, so I am blocking out the shirt. Yeah, and then I am going to be blocking out the pant. So obviously we are not going to go into the details from the start, so first thing we need to do is to just block it out, and I am doing some weird stuff. Okay. I mean, just ignore all the stuff that I just did, but you can see that I've basically blocked it out. And after the blocking is done, I've started doing the wrinkles. Again, just like the body, we are not really going to be polishing the wrinkles because we are going to be retopoing it, and then we are going to be doing all the details on that retopod version so that we can actually just bake a displacement map. And yeah, so that's basically the idea. Right now I'm just doing the bigger wrinkles so that I can actually use the shrink wrap and basically just wrap it around to get all the details. And yeah, this is basically the workflow. So I hope that you've got the workflow at this point. By the way, I don't think it's really that complicated. I just sculpt stuff, retopo stuff, shrink wrap it, and then once I'm in the multi-resolution modifier, I can actually add as many details as I want, so that I can actually just pretty easily just bake it to a displacement map. You can see that I'm basically just starting to add some of the volumes, and we are just gonna start doing the wrinkles as well. As you can see, again I'm gonna just say this because we still have time. I am not really gonna be polishing it. I am just gonna be blocking out the wrinkles, and after I'm done with the retopo, I'll just shrink wrap all the wrinkles and then just polish those. So this was the workflow that I've used, and yeah, so you can see I am just sculpting, and there isn't really anything for me to say right now because I just talked about the workflow. So yeah, you can see I am also going to be sculpting the pant, but I'm not really going to show you that in the video because yeah, I don't really want this video to be super long. And now you can see that I've started doing the retopo. So again, you already know the purpose of the retopo. I don't really have to explain you anything. And if you don't know what retopo is, you basically just create a simpler mesh, a cleaner mesh that could be pretty easily deformed, and you can actually use that in either games or movies. You basically need to animate stuff. You need to have some better topology. So that's what I'm doing right now. If you were to create this for collectible, for 3D printing, you didn't really have to do this. Maybe in some cases, if you want to represent your character a little bit better, I don't know. I mean, if you want to have textures on your cloth, you can technically do that, but most of the time you don't really have to do. So at this point, you can see that I'm basically just shrink wrapping all the details. And after the shrink wrapping is done, I am just going to be using some of the alphas to basically create all the details on the cloth. So you can see that I've literally just added the details. And now that we have everything in terms of model, we need to start doing the texturing. And if you want a texture, you also need to have UVs. So we just did the UVs after the sculpt is done. So at this point, we have everything sculpted, by the way. And you can see we also have the UVs done. So now we can pretty easily just start texturing. And I've added some of the seams, and I've accidentally added 2 seams, so I had to remove one by creating a mask. So you can clearly see that I've just did the seam with the textures. And I am gonna be honest here with you because you are my audience. I don't really want to lie to you. I really got bored at this point. Like, I really didn't wanted to do all of the texturing. So I just shown you how you can add dirt. I just shown you how you can add stitches, but I didn't really spend too much time and effort to basically make it look super nice. I just got bored, man. I just got bored creating the cloth. So if you were to buy the course and you feel like that there is something missing in the cloth, then it is my effort. Not gonna lie, you can actually make much better cloth if you were to just put some extra time. So now we are at the hairs, and the hairs are pretty simple. I just added some of these what do you call them, the parent hairs, and I've just groomed them. Okay, so I just deleted all the extra stuff that we don't really need it. I just groomed them, and you're gonna see that the grooming is not really that complicated. I just added directionality. The thing is, I just knew that I can just do all the detailing with the modifiers. So I added the interpolation modifier, and after that I've just okay, I just painted a mask. Yes, so you can do that. By the way, did you know it? I don't know. I think I have a video on it on my YouTube channel. I forgot if I have a video on something like this, but you can just create a mask and use this mask into the density mask, and you can just control the density like this. So I did this and then just applied the noise modifier, and both of those modifiers were good enough actually to create a really nice looking eyebrows, and you're gonna just see that. So again, if you want to, you can actually just buy the course to see this part step by step, but it isn't really that complicated. If I'm being honest, I think anyone can actually just do that by even watching this video, I think. And this is just a workflow video, so if you are confused on how you should approach something, then this video is for you, where you can actually see the workflow, you can see the approach. And if you wanna just need something step by step, then yeah, just buy the course. I don't know, man, I am just saying this a bit too much. But you can see even in the mustache I didn't really do anything crazy with the grooming. And you can see in the beard I just did the same thing and copied the same values, by the way. So this was how I created the hairs. And now, okay, I am also gonna be doing the body hairs. Yes, so I've just used my hand literally to see the directionality of the hairs on the hands. So that was pretty nice. And yeah, at this point we were actually done with creating the character. And yeah, this course was actually, completed at this point, because we've created everything. So we needed to create a render image so that we can actually just use that image to promote the course. And that is where I've created this smile. And also one more purpose for this smile was to just show you that you can pretty easily just do all the facial expression. So yeah, the design of the character was actually pretty good as well. And that's what I'm doing right now. You can see I'm just creating a smile. And this was actually pretty much it. This is what we done in the whole course. And I've just explained you everything and all the workflow that I've did. By the way, just make sure that you are doing this with the shape key, so that you can actually just go back and forth. And yeah, this is where I am gonna be ending the course and this video as well. Actually, I should have just said the video, but yeah, this is basically the render. And if you like the result, if you wanna learn this step by step, then buy the course. Bye bye.